the co-founder of Mind Labs Institute, and he's a serial entrepreneur. He is a two-time author. He hosts retreats. He's from Portland and now traveling the whole world. And he was a part of Nomad X, who is our sponsor for this event. Ow, ow, shout out to Dave Williams and the whole tribe. So with that, Jonathan Berry, welcome to Emergence Festival.
Aloha, everyone. So good to see you all. I'm admitting someone to the room here. So good to see you. Oh my God, I'm so excited to share today with you guys for the next power hour. We're going to be talking about strategies for being a digital nomad. I'm just curious, how many people here have ever lived or currently are a digital nomad, living somewhere in a beautiful location, somewhere in the world, doing work that you love to do? Yes, I'm seeing your hands. I see you. I know you. I feel you. Very cool. And we're going to dive right in here. But before we dive in, we're going to dive into our bodies real quick. I want everyone to just stand up real quick. Just stand up wherever you are. And we're going to do a quick little hip opening. We've been sitting around all day. I want you to open up your legs, open them up nice and wide, and then take a deep inhale, lifting your hands to the sky. Inhale and extend as high as you can. Open it up. Stretch. And then folding forward. Exhale. Keeping one hand on the ground, lifting your other hand to the sky. Little twist. Might get a little adjustment. That's included in the workshop. Switching sides. Yeah. Lift it up. Stretch it up. Yes. Oh, it feels so good. Standing up. All right, keeping it wide. We're gonna do a quick triangle pose to the right. Triangle pose. Yeah, there you go. You got it. You get the general. And over to the left. We gotta keep those hips open if we're gonna get our mind open. Oh, yes. And everyone just shake it out. Shake it out. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, get in your body. Get in your body. Oh, yes. All right, all right, all right. All right, dust it off, dust it off. Yeah, dust it off. Yeah, yeah, dust yourself off. Yeah, all right, there we go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Dust off the old energy. All right. The mind is like a parachute. It only works if it's open. And we got to open up our hips and we're going to open up our minds. So thank you guys for getting weird with me. And yeah, I'm going to dive right in here. I feel, first of all, so blessed to just be a part of this community. Chelsea and Jessica, you guys always just like take it to an entirely new level every time you do this. Everything you do is with such excellence. And I really appreciate the work that you're doing by creating these conscious community accelerator and incubator experiences where we can come together and be nourished in the presence of conscious community and fellow co-creators and really just elevate ourselves, elevate our consciousness, our frequency, our awareness of what's possible. There are little gems that are going to be planted in this workshop and all the other workshops that are going to have the potential to shift our life, to shift our future. And today I want to share with you some of the tools that I've been developing over the last 5 years as a digital nomad that I hope that you can take any of these little tidbits and just plant them along your timeline of your future. And I truly, truly hope that that you will be a luminary in this time, in this age of a global pandemic, a time where the new normal is completely shifting. And there's this opportunity right now where people are so hungry for connection and community. You feel me? People are hungry for new experiences. People are locked into their freaking prisons of their room, and they are just waiting for some crazy guy or girl to say, hey guys, guess what? We're gonna host an event, but guess what? It's gonna be in person. We're gonna hug with each other, heart to heart. We're gonna unmask ourselves, and we're gonna dance because, hey, you know what? I'd say if you ask me, ecstatic dance is the best approach to herd immunity if I ever heard of one. If you know what I mean. Can I get an aho? Yeah, You know what I mean. So, so I'm gonna share my screen here, and I've got a presentation. This workshop is gonna be a combination of a sharing of just my own experiences. Can you all see my screen okay? Give me a thumbs up if you can see it. Cool. Awesome. So I'm calling this digital nomadism. This is a mastermind on how to build a grassroots movement. And just to be totally transparent with you, what I'm going to be sharing with you guys today are the business models and strategies that I've been implementing as a digital nomad over the past 5 years that have helped me make a bunch of money and have tons of fun and build a global network of friends and family and community and followers and clients. And I'm going to share with you just every single strategy, not everyone, but as many as I can in the next hour. So we're going to dive right in. Cool. So about me, I've been a digital nomad for 5 years. I host transformational leadership events and retreats. I've lived in 35 countries. And to be honest with you, the reason I'm a digital nomad is that when I was a kid, I was obsessed with surfing, and I still am. And my whole life, I just more than anything wanted to get paid to travel the world and surf. And so leading up into now, I've been literally on this journey of like trying to figure out how can I get paid to travel. But more than anything, as I evolved beyond just being a surfer, I wanted to have a positive impact in the world. And so every single one of these businesses that you see down here, whether it's my personal brand, Transcend Alchemy, which is a wellness company, we create high quality nano emulsified CBD products, and then we create meditations that go with the medication. Sacred Strategy, my coaching company, the Mind Lab Institute, Everyday Hero Projects, a nonprofit organization. I've been hosting nonprofit initiatives for years in countries around the world. Education Energy. I have pivoted to so many different industries, and I want to just really make it crystal clear to you that you can pivot as many times as you want to. You can create as many brands as humanly possible in this life. You do not have to limit yourself to one thing. I know that so many entrepreneurs, the dilemma is like choosing that one thing, but I just want to tell you, you can create. We have so much time in this life, but the one thing that is going to hold you back from creating your future is just getting started. Just start creating and don't stop. That's my biggest piece of advice right there. So, you know, when I was in university, I started creating. I wrote a couple books. I've got a copy of it right here, Hack Your Education. This book was published as curriculums and as a curriculum in high schools and universities. The Art of Establishing an Internship is a program where I help you get an entire army of interns working for your company. And so this has been a passion of mine, but also throughout my journey of having a spiritual awakening, I've really been passionate about creating conscious community events and empowering people to come together in community, to meditate together, to dance, to do breath work, to do all the things that I love. So I really just try to host gatherings that are in alignment with my passions and with my interests. And so I'm going to be sharing you guys, you know, strategies on how to do this. And these are essentially some of the main focuses that, you know, my personal expertise has developed over the years. And this is a framework. This is a framework as an example of what you will be able to create as a digital nomad. We're going to be talking about frameworks. We're going to be talking about business models, etc. So what is a digital nomad? So digital nomads are people who use telecommunication technologies to earn a living and more generally conduct their life in a nomadic manner. So essentially, it's like, how can you do whatever you want, wherever you want, whenever you want? That's kind of the question, and make money in the process. But I almost wanted to change the name of this workshop to how to be a digital nomad during a global pandemic, because let's face it, the world as we know it is coming to an end. And unless you're stoked about getting an experimental project warp speed vaccine in order to travel, the traveling may become limited in the future. And that's just a reality that we're currently faced with, unless, of course, then we come together in numbers and say, no, we will not have this. No, we want our freedom. And we create new systems to implement new protocols and new normal, the new normal. We get to create the new normal. That's the biggest reality. So there's a lot of challenges facing digital nomads. However, at the same time, they have not implemented those rules yet. They have not implemented those rules yet. You can still get on an airplane and travel around the world. You can still cross borders, and you still have the opportunity to do this. So, but the reality is that in the next 10 years, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? So right now, more than ever, is literally the best time to be a digital nomad, to get out there, pursue your dreams, and travel the world and light this planet up with your presence. So highly encourage that. Now, just curious, how many of you in your life have done this experiment when you're a kid and you like spin the globe, right? You spin the globe and then you put your finger on it and it just like lands on a certain spot and then you imagine going to that place. I'm sure you've done it before. When I was a kid, I used to do it all the time. And I remember getting to this point where I really wanted to have that capacity. I wanted to be able to say, you know what? I want to go to any location in the world and be able to make money and make an impact. How can I make the world my home? This was the call to adventure that I had. I was living in Hawaii and I was feeling stuck. I really wanted to travel, but it was like in order to travel, I had to make money, right? In order to, go on this adventure, I needed to have, money in order to do it, right? And then it was going to cost this much and it was going to take this time, and it was like, how can you do that? And also at the same time, how can you have a great impact in the world? Well, this model right here is the hero's journey. Raise your hand if you've heard of the hero's journey or seen it. I highly encourage you to read the book, The Hero with 1,000 Faces by Joseph Campbell. He created the model for the hero's journey. It's a powerful framework for how the hero is called on an adventure, and he avoids it at first, but then finally something happens, an inciting incident, something that calls you and says, you know what? I can't fucking go on like this any longer. I can't go on as business as usual. I have to go on this epic adventure. And through that process, you go through these challenges and you eventually come to this death and rebirth down at the bottom, the revelation. And then you experience it, transformation and transmutation, and eventually atonement, at one-ment with what it is that you were searching for. And then finally you discover that thing that you were, the gold, the treasure, whatever it was, that every hero goes through in this mythological storyline. And then you return to the community and share it with your community. And that's what I'm doing right now with you guys, is sharing this journey with you. And you can also use this journey in your life, apply this to your life, because you are on your own journey. And there is a call to something great that is calling you right now. And we're about to listen in and tune into what that is. I'm here to tell you today that you can take your art everywhere you go around the world and get paid to share your art. Whether it's workshops, fire dancing, music, ecstatic dance, masterminds, training, doing workouts, teaching yoga, doing body paint, photography, videography, cacao and medicine ceremonies, open mics, facilitate transformation and growth, teach what you're passionate about anywhere in the world. You can do it. Now, I have this photo of these guys right here because these guys are 3 of my mentors. They're all older than me. They were in their 40s. And Tyler on the left is my business partner. He was my first business partner that me and him traveled the world. We did a world tour together for 3 months. The guy to the right of him in the middle, this guy is a professional face reader. He travels the world hosting workshops about face reading, and people pay him hundreds of dollars to literally do a face reading session. The guy to the right of him, Richard, he's a massage therapist. He is good. And you know what he does? He charges high prices, and guess where he goes? He goes to like Switzerland, and he goes to like all these super nice exotic locations where people have lots of money, and he charges hundreds of dollars, and he gets clients on a regular basis, and anywhere he goes, his clients are waiting for him there. So I was like, oh man, sign me up. Like, these guys are all doing it. I can do it. Like, what's going to be that thing that's going to take me around the world? So I asked myself, me and Tyler, my business partner, we said, what if we could create a workshop that was so powerful that it would literally shift people's minds and life forever? What would that be? What would that look like? And we ended up creating this event concept that in the beginning we called it Sacred Strategy. And we hosted our first Sacred Strategy event. This is our event that we did right here. And I literally, I swear to God, right after this event, you guys, right after we hosted this event, we went to the airport, we boarded our plane, and we began our world tour to take the show on the road. So then we started with Sacred Strategy, but honestly, after a time of trying things out, we changed the concept from Sacred Strategy to the Mind Lab, because it was a wider audience, it was more scientific, it was a little bit, so we pivoted the concept, but we pivoted and iterated the concept on a regular basis. So we're listening to the market, listening to what their needs were, and collecting data the whole way. And eventually I created biohacking and future mapping for leaders and luminaries, which is the program that I'm currently taking around the world. So at one point I created this list. I said, okay, what would be the ultimate dream tour? Like if I could go anywhere in the world, where would it be? And I just started writing down locations. Then I started to identify events that were happening in those locations. And I started to write those down. And in the process, I started to actually reach out to those people. And I was able to kind of like create this experience, this travel experience where I was weaving in and out of other people's events. And I highly encourage you to make this list. I call it my dream tour world tour document. And I just started listing that, and it's just keeps going and going and going. And eventually you just got to say, okay, let's take the show on the road. Now, in order to become a digital nomad, you have to become a content creator and not just a content consumer. A lot of people I know are like, oh yeah, I'm learning right now. I'm learning about something. I'm learning about this. But in order to really become a creator, you have to start creating. And beyond just being a content creator, you have to you have to ask yourself, are you a travel consumer or are you a travel creator? And what I mean by that is I know so many people who say they're digital nomads and they're going to go do their digital nomad thing, but then they end up just like going on a vacation, right? And they get caught into the bubble of the community and the experience, and they're going to other people's things, but they're not creating and generating experiences. And so it's so important for you guys to really tap in and realize that in order to do this, these strategies I'm going to be sharing with you, you really have to step into your power as a creator. So we're going to start off by, and I'm moving quick here just so you guys know, because I got a lot of content that I want to get through in this hour. So we're going to start with identifying our topics. And before we do it, I want you to just keep this in mind. You don't have to be an expert to host a workshop. You don't have to be the best of the best of the best. You can teach from your own experiences and lead by creating experiences for other people. So think about, what are you an expert at, or what are you experienced enough at that you could teach for like an hour? What frameworks or processes do you know that would benefit other people in your niche and that you could take on the road? You can speak from your own experiences and teach from proven frameworks and create unique experiences that are participant-centric. It's all about their experience. So let's think about establishing our authority in a certain topic. So we're just going to do a quick experiment here on a piece of paper or on a note on your computer. I want you to take 1 minute and write down 1-sentence bullet points of topics that you can confidently talk about for 1 hour. So what are some of the topics that you could teach about? Take 1 minute to write these down now. What are some of the things that you feel like you're an expert at? What are some of the topics that you are really passionate about learning about? What do you love to learn about? What do you find yourself talking about most of the time in conversations with people? What topics? What do you think about most of the time? What do you think about? What do you spend your time thinking about that you're obsessed about? Write those down. You don't need to be an expert at it yet. What do you love to research about? Write them down, write them down. Would you love spending your time researching when you're looking through articles? Like I'm always looking at like quantum physics and neuroscience, transformation. What do you love to research about? Okay, that was a little more than a minute. So using that list, I want you to create a list of epic workshop titles. Epic workshop titles. This could also be translated into epic video titles, by the way. How to become a quantum creator. I've got a group called Quantum Creators on Facebook. You should totally join it. How to become a quantum creator. How to transform your life to become a digital nomad. How to become a digital nomad during a zombie apocalypse. The art of creating your reality. Create a list of workshop titles. Keep going. Just write them down. Just make them up. Make them up. We're activating the quantum vacuum right now. New ideas are channeling through your pineal gland into your brain, sending signals. You're channeling information from the universe through your body. You are a quantum computer pulling information from the creating reality in real time. Cool. All right, so we have a couple of those, and now what we're gonna do is I want you to just choose one. All right, just choose one. We're gonna just do a little quantum experiment because you could just take a moment to imagine what it would be like to actually create this workshop concept. And then imagine that you create it and you have enough time to work on it and you feel confident enough about it that you would be confident enough to do it with like 3 to 5 of your friends. Just imagine that for a moment. No big deal, right? Easy peasy. Like you got this, right? But remember, as you do it, the more that you do it, the better you're going to get at it. Because where attention goes, energy flows. And the more attention and energy that you give to your vision, the more it becomes real. The more embodied you become in that vision, the more your neurophysiological architecture begins to reflect the confidence that's required in order to create this reality. So I'm just throwing that out there, just planting the seed, okay? So there's this really great book called Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. And in this book, he talks about how in order to become a master of something, you essentially need to invest 10,000 hours to become a master of something. And the essence of this book is that achievement is a combination of talent and preparation. The key to success in any field is simply a matter of participating in a specific task for 10,000 hours. And a lot of people believe that. It's a really great book. And the outlier is someone who's like massively successful, right? And you can be massively successful in any of these tasks, but to be the reality is that 10,000 hours would take 6 years if you were to invest full time, 10 years if you're going to be a part-time, 30 years if you're going to spend one day a week. So we don't have that kind of time, right? Like we live in 2021. We need things instantly, right? Or at least a lot faster than that. But in a book called Peak, Anders Ericsson with Robert Poole, they talk about how if you participate in deliberate practice, you don't necessarily need 10,000 hours. In fact, you could actually get away with a less amount of time if you are really focused, if you're really focused on creating that thing. So deliberate practice means to plan, practice, perform, and keep getting data, keep perfecting that process. Oh, okay, there we go. So I want you to think about the industry that you're participating in. And I want you to write down what industry you would be focusing for this particular workshop title. What industry is that? Just write that down. And then once you write down the main industry, think about what are the specialties that you have with that you would like to master over the next, say, 3 months or 4 months or 6 months. What would be that specialty? And then what would be the sub specialty? Think about that. Write that down. Write down what would be your specialty and your subspecialty. This is how the future is created. This is how new timelines begin to emerge. And as you go into your research, I want you to really just take a look at how crowded is your industry, how crowded is it, and how can you go deeper into your niche or your niche in order to really find a strong area of focus. And if you can't find your niche, don't worry about it. You can just be a generalist at first, and eventually you're going to find it. So just keep that in mind. You don't necessarily need to find your niche in the beginning, but you want to be able to start to, really study and master one of those concepts. And another hack to becoming a master of your topic and to be able to feel confident enough to facilitate these workshops is to actually create frameworks, utilize proven frameworks, and receive coaching from people who have done it before, experts in your field, people who can guide you along the way to help you make progress more quickly. You can essentially experience a quantum leap. You don't have to go on that linear timeline of the Newtonian timeline of the three-dimensional reality. You can be a quantum creator and you can actually experience a quantum shift. And it's all based on your perspective. It's all based on knowledge and information. So now we're going to try rapid prototyping. We're going to talk about rapid prototyping. And if you haven't heard of rapid prototyping, in essence, what it is, it's a way for us to be able to come up with a concept, which is the ideation phase. So you just came up with a workshop title, right? So in the ideation phase, you're going to be designing, you're going to be researching, other people who have done stuff like this. You're going to find frameworks and tools and processes that other people have used. You're also going to start designing your concept and eventually prototyping your concept. And essentially a prototype is to just create a model. It could actually just be a presentation just like this that I'm sharing with you now. So you create your concept and then you build your MVP, your minimum viable product. Notice this is weeks 1 to 3. Then we go into weeks 4 to 6. You're going to start building it out. So you're going to start designing it. You're going to design your framework. You're going to design the experience of the event that you want to create or the concept that you want to create. This could be offline or online. And then finally, you're going to actually implement it. You're going to produce the event. And for those out there who are not totally certain if the idea is good or not, or you're trying to figure out how you want to, get started, try doing a pilot program. Try doing a pilot program. A pilot program is essentially just creating the event once and testing it out with your friends. Call it a pilot. And when you do it, get their testimonials, get their experience, get their feedback. So we're going to start thinking about our ideating our concept. So basically, you're going to have your content framework. So what are the key learning experiences and topics that you want to cover, that you want your participants to master in this experience, or at least get a taste of in this experience? What are the learning objectives and outcomes? What will they leave the experience with? Keep it simple and process-oriented. And a really great tool for all you facilitators out there, Session Lab. Who's heard of Session Lab? Oh, snap. If you haven't, you can thank me later. Session Lab is the bomb. Okay, so I want you to just think about real quick to create a test framework. A test framework. So you've got your event name concept. I want you to write down phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and I want you to create a title or a phase for each phase, a title for each phase. So if your event was how to become a digital nomad during a global pandemic zombie apocalypse, you could say phase 1, get prepared. Phase 2, uh, uh, get your supplies. Phase 3, get ready. Whatever it is, you know, you're just outlining the basic concept. Okay, take a moment to do that. Basic framework. And keep in mind, you'll see this framework, the business model canvas here. This is a framework. This is a designed framework. You can actually, once you bullet point the content framework, you can design it into an actual a template framework where people can participate in your concept, in your methodology. I want you to create your own methodology of transformation that you take your clients and you take your participants on the journey. So the hero's journey is a framework. The hero's journey is a methodology. Joseph Campbell read all of the different stories of different mythological characters, from Jesus to Buddha to Odysseus, to all of the different mythological tales, and he found that there was this similar framework, this model, a content framework. This is the Ikigai, which is basically matching your what you love with what you're good at, what you can get paid for, what the world needs. This is a framework. This is a content framework. Cool. Then you want to start thinking about your experience framework. If you're going to host a physical event or an online event, what's the experience framework and design look like? So you want to use participatory methods. What are the activities that participants will experience? How do these activities play a role in the unfolding storyline of the experience? So create phases to the experience. So the phases of your method, the phases of your content could then be tied into an experience that would engage the participants. Each phase deserves context, setting, and introduction. So you can almost make your experience like you're in a movie. You can make it theatrical. You can perform it. And when I was taking my show on the road, you guys, I mean, it was wild. Like, there were these moments where people would be doing something, and then all of a sudden I'd be like, okay, now we're gonna, you know, just like, you get animated. You gotta like get into it, because you are the curator of their experience. And the more excited that you are, the more excited they're gonna be. And one of my mentors was a 7th grade teacher. And when I watched her get in front of her 7th grade class, I was like, oh my God. She was able to captivate a room of 14-year-old kids in just like awe and excitement, because she was so animated and so excited. And, you know, and so consider that when you are facilitating your process. Find people that are like that and study them. That's all I have to say. If you haven't started watching Michael Bernard Beckwith, I watch him for Sunday service every week. He's a minister of consciousness and spirituality. Is just like mind-blowingly epic. He's such an amazing human. He's still alive, so catch him while it's live. But his videos are timeless, and messages are eternal. So reframe the experience. Tell the story of the hero on their quest. You're taking your participants through a hero's quest, and make the story epic. Make it epic. Include cultural experiences related to the location of where you're hosting the event. Include intellectual content and somatic experiences. Have them do breath work. Have them get in the hot and cold plunge. Have them, you know, get in the ecstatic dance movement. Have them do, you know, massage and experiencing all different kinds of stuff. Integrate all of the things into your experience. Provide ample time for integration with the community and individually. You want to give people the opportunity to share and express themselves, express their experience. And great tools for this, you guys, are The Art of Hosting. These are photos from The Art of Hosting. Check it out if you haven't already. It's a methodology. It's an open source framework for facilitation. And also authentic relating is another great one. How many people here have experienced authentic relating? Okay, yeah, learn about it, get into it. All right, so now that you've got your concept, right? You got your basic concept, now you got to establish your brand. And so for my first tour, I was basically said, okay, we got our framework, we use the scientific method. We apply the scientific method to your goals and to manifesting your future. We created our workbook and our methodology, our process. We built our brand and our design and made it look good. We created some videos that would kind of promote what it was that we were doing so that we could share them with people when we were coming to their city. We had our website looking solid, and we established our authority more than anything. And so it's really important that you build those designs. We also had the opportunity to meet some of our heroes, Nassim Harriman, Joe Dispenza. I got to interview Dr. Emoto and Amit Goswami. These were some of my heroes at the time, and made the effort to go and find them. You know, and in 2015, we kicked off our tour. And so here we go. So your concept is complete now. Establish your brand, remembering that content is king, but context is queen. Why are you doing what you're doing, and why is it important during a zombie apocalypse? Right? That's an easy sell, you guys. Like pretty much anything that you sell right now is better than what the mainstream media is selling. So get out there and sell some freaking hope, and remind people that they're the creators of their reality, and we don't, you know, yes, okay, the whole political system was hijacked, and there was a bunch of stupid ass stories that they threw up in the media and made everyone get all excited and mad at each other, and now the dust has settled and all of our problems are solved. But the reality is that it doesn't really affect who we are or what we're doing as individuals. We are sovereign beings. We get to create our own reality. We get to create our own future, and they haven't shut down the borders yet. So, you know, don't play into that whole thing. I got to tell you guys this right now. I went to, during the middle of the pandemic, I hosted a series of epic ecstatic disc dance events where we did ecstatic dance with 6 feet apart with people wearing masks and on the beach without permits. Cops came to each one of my events, asked what we were doing. Some of them said we couldn't do it. Some of them said it was cool, keep going. This was at different times during different, you know, rules in Hawaii. During that same time, there, like August, September, I went to Mexico. I traveled internationally. I went to a wedding with 300 people. I've traveled to Costa Rica. I was like all over the board, and I've never gotten COVID. I've never been exposed. I've gotten the test, the antibody test. I haven't gotten it. So I'm just telling you, like, don't let other people's fear porn get you off track. That was good. All right. No. Bad joke, bad COVID joke. Hey, you guys want to hear a bad COVID joke? You're probably not going to get it. Gotcha. Okay. You're probably not going to get it. All right. So create your event. Create your event invite. Here's a nice little framework, you know, for your event invite. I personally am old school. I like to do it on Facebook event invite, even though Facebook's the Antichrist. JK, geez, you guys are too serious. Like, you know, I don't mind Facebook watching me if that's what gets their rocks out. Like, the reality is that I create my own reality. So here's your outline. And so, you know, you can basically just make your event sound as epic as possible. Look at other people's events, you know, take it from Picasso. Picasso said that the best artists steal other people's work and make it better. Don't tell him I told you that. But, you know, just like make your thing epic, detail it, make it beautiful. This was me after Envision Music Festival on a search for venues for retreats. The next year, we hosted Quantum Shift, Surf into Your Future. It was a psychedelic surf and meditation retreat for entrepreneurs and creators. Yeah, it was super fun. That was 1 year later. So as you travel, you can find locations, create partnerships. Like year after year, you create your own tour, your own timeline, your own map. And you just follow this map. And the more that you nourish that map, the more solidified it becomes. It's so epic, you guys. You get to basically just like do your world tour and host events in these different exotic locations. It's super fun. So design elements, make your event look epic before it's happened in real life. In the book, The Art of War, they talk about symbols and flags and signs. These are important archetypes that we use for selling a concept, for selling your event. One of my fundraising mentors tells me that you got to sell the body of the Ferrari without the engine, right? So you got to sell the concept, make it beautiful. And some of my best producer friends that I know, they design multiple flyers that are absolutely stunningly gorgeous, and they produce different types of flyers that look different, and they put them all over the place, right? So that like you're constantly seeing these beautiful works of art. It doesn't even have to have photos from the event if you've never done it before. It just has to look good. You got to sell the vision, right? And that goes for writing business plans, that goes for writing partnership proposals, that goes for sponsorship requests, that goes for strategic alliance partnerships. Like, you got to sell the vision visually. Using Canva, Wix, Kajabi, anything's possible. Lots of tools. I mean, I love Photoshop. I decided to just do it, to learn it, and I'm so glad that I did, you guys. Like, you can really take it to the next level. Location is key. You know, I usually look for venues when I host my events in a waterfront location, an oceanfront location, a rooftop location, a clubhouse, or a mansion. That's my requirement. It's got to be an epic venue. And to be honest, I try to look for places for free. So my goal is to use free venues. And there are so many spaces out there that are being underutilized, and people who are just like, oh my God, you want to do something? Yeah, bring it on. Bring it on. There's so many opportunities right now, you guys. Don't cut yourself short. You can create a proposal to someone, and they will accept it. Just deliver value. Show them it's going to bring value to their lives. Show them it's going to bring the value to the community. They will give you the venue for free, or at least split some, you know, or hook them up. It's up to you. As your COO, you're the CEO and I'm your COO. My job is to make sure that we're keeping prices down, right? So I'm going to be like driving for you to increase sales and decrease costs, all right? So I mean, like, yes, support the venue, but like, I'm also looking after you. So what's the capacity? Find venues that have a strong following. They already have a network that they can promote to. What are the features of the space? Do they have tools that, like, flat screen, whiteboard, seating, airflow, kitchen? Create strategic partnership with the venue. And the more space, the better if you're going to do the whole 6 feet thing. Choose your date and think about when is the best time to do it. Is it a spring thing? Is it a summer thing? Is it around before or after a festival? I do events, like I would do retreats that would be 6 months planned out. And I would also do events that were 2 weeks planned. I even filled a room with 30 people in 10 days. So once you start to get this down, you guys, you can actually fine tune your marketing and your experience and do it rapid, do it quick. Find partners, find believers in what it is that you're doing. Find like-minded creators, find micro influencers or local influencers who facilitate groups on Facebook or Clubhouse. Maybe they host events and you can tap into their network. This is super important. Culture curation, invite local shamans or native practitioners to attend and participate in the opening ceremony. Get local people involved. They're going to help you blow it up. They've got the algorithms for that local community. It's super important that you partner with those people. You give them a free ticket. You share the stage with them. You promote them at your thing. Create a win-win. Sponsor those people, your sponsors and partners. Sponsor their ticket for free in exchange for promotional help. They invite people to the event. They invite 500 people to the Facebook event. They post the event for you. You interview them live on Facebook, maybe in person or on different devices, and you tap into their network. People in their community will start to learn about you. People will start to see you. They've never met you, but they just see you everywhere all of a sudden, and then suddenly they see you in person. They're like, hey, I saw a video of you just the other day. So list the benefits for them, give them exposure, give them the stage, makes your life easier, because when you're facilitating and you're the only one on stage, that's tough, right? But the more people you have involved, the easier, because you don't have to facilitate much. Partner revenue share versus partner platform share. Do you own the event or are you sharing the stage? Are you sharing the stage with people? That's free. And that's free marketing for you. But if you're sharing the equity of the event, well, you're cutting your price, your profits in half. So just keep that in mind. I know in the beginning it's like, oh, but I don't know if I can do it on my own. And you co-host, but eventually you gotta make that leap. In this photo right here, actually, let's see, no, it's not this one. This photo here is from Latvia in the Baltics. And just ask. Honestly, this is so important. Just ask for support, ask for sponsors, ask for promotional help, ask for money, ask for free stuff. Like just ask, 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 ask. There's a great book called The Aladdin Factor by Jack Campbell. Good one, all about asking. Host a pre-event. So we used to do these pre-events called, so we had the Mind Lab, right? But we would do a Friday night wine lab where we would drink wine and have a neurochemical cocktail. We'd basically drink wine and give hugs. So you get like the wine would give you all the endorphins, and then the hugs would give you like oxytocin and serotonin. And we'd have neurochemical cocktails and talk about neuroscience and quantum physics and creating your future. So that was like our free promotional event. You can host that event at a different venue and then get access to their network and promote your event to their network, and then host the event at a different venue the next day or for the following weekend. You feel me? It's a good opportunity to convert people who are on the fence and promote with a new audience. Dovetailing community events. One of my favorite things in the world is to host transformational retreats after music festivals. I mean, it's like, honestly, it's the best. You get to go to the festival, you post your flyers in all the porta potties, and next thing you know, your retreat's sold out. Strategically plan your retreat after a big event or gathering, and plan it in alignment with a holiday. These days with the pandemic, you got to think about, people aren't meeting up as much. So you want to think about how you're going to promote or dovetail events that, if it's not really popping, you got to think about, where is it popping? Where are those events that you can tap in with? Epic marketing, part 3. So social media, obviously, Facebook event, go live with your collaborators on Facebook, go live on Instagram. I have 2 phones, so I can do IG and Facebook at the same time. Take that video and upload it to YouTube right afterwards. You can do free ticket giveaways. And basically what I always do is I have people, if they clean up trash, like if they pick up trash, I'll do a trash tag challenge at different locations where if you pick up trash, whoever gets the most amount of trash wins a free ticket. And that's like to maybe $1,000 event, right? So it's like, I just want people to go clean up the world, and I want to use my event as a way to, basically help and show that we're giving back. So that's an opportunity. Obviously, use your stories. Touch point marketing is basically like, it takes about 10 to 20 touch points before someone will say yes to going to your event. They have to think about it. They have to like hear about it. They have to talk about it. They got to think about it 10 to 20 times. So just keep that in mind. Just because you posted your poster doesn't mean that people know about it. Just because you did a story, or just because you posted one post, you missed half your market. You got to be relentless about your promotion and your posting. And then paid ads are good. Once you get there, you start doing really helps. Once you create paid ads once, you start getting those algorithms going, and you're on the road. Live strategy. How many people do Facebook Lives? Cool, not as common, but I know some people are doing it. Here's my strategy for Facebook Lives. I call it Harness the Power of the Epiphany. I'm writing a book about this. Basically, you have an epiphany, you have a download, you have a revelation. You pull out your phone, you create a quick outline about what the concept is about. You find an epic location, whatever your most epic location is. Right now, if I were to do it, I would do this background, my library. Or you go out in nature or whatever. You just find a weird little background. It doesn't need to be like a white background, the perfect lighting. Fuck that. You don't need to do your makeup. Like, get over it. Just do it. Be raw, be real, be you, be authentic, and then go. Just you got your outline, and just freestyle your outline. Now, of course, live in the beginning is scary, but this is training, you guys. This is training for your live events. You've got to put yourself on the stage. It's the most uncomfortable feeling, but guess what? It's the most transformative thing that I could possibly share with you. Go live as often as possible. Post it to all the platforms. Have your interns process the videos and put titles and captions on them, and it'll make your life a lot easier. Facebook event leads to your website so that you can essentially capture people's emails into your funnel on your website and invite them to future events. Provide scholarships. So basically, I said scholarships is available for financial hardship. And basically I put that on my Facebook event invite, and then people are like, hey, can I get your scholarship? And then I'm like, yeah, here's the options. If you bring 2 people, I'll give you a free ticket. If you invite 50 people in the local area via Facebook, or post the event to your page with a personal message, and post the event to a local event page with a personal message, and invite 10 people directly, I'll give you a free ticket. So like I have these different options for people that don't want to pay. And then also trash tag, pick up 1 large bag of trash and I'll give you $50 off, or I'll do the challenge where I'll say, you know, whoever gets the most trash wins the free ticket. Also, for people that don't want to pay and are having a little bit of scarcity mindset challenge, I actually have a video that's called How to Launch a Fundraising Campaign to Attend a Retreat. So like it's literally the most epic video on like how to raise money. It's like just a great video in general on how to raise money and launch a campaign. So think about that. Think about the challenges that they're facing and those conversations that you're having on a regular basis, and how can you streamline those conversations. Then you've got your direct message strategy. So you get people who are interested in your events, and then basically you want to direct message them at least 3 times when they first sign up. Say, hey, so you signed up, super stoked. Let me know if you have any questions. 1 week before the event, you want to message them directly, and then the day before the event, you want to message them directly. Also, once they pay for the event, you want to reach out to them and invite them to invite their accountability buddies or their mastermind buddies to the event, because it's going to be better if they have a team of people that are there with them doing the process with them. And this is something you can also have an intern do. It's a lot easier, you know, to just have like when you have, if you guys are interested in having building your intern team. And then there's guerrilla marketing, which is essentially just getting out in the community and doing innovative marketing campaigns. So print full page flyers, get tape, go nuts. Put them all over the town, around the area. Print the quarter sheets as well. Quarter sheets, like the smaller flyers, and hand them out to individuals as you're going around. Make announcements at community gatherings. This is a chance for you to practice getting on stage and talking to large groups of people. I'm telling you guys, get on stage when there's a gathering happening. You say, excuse me, everyone, can I make a quick announcement in the line of the food store, right? This is guerrilla marketing. If you really believe in it, you've got to fucking have passion for it, you guys. You got to be like the guy, the hip hop artist in New York who's out there on the streets hustling his hip hop album, being like, yo, you guys got to check this stuff out. This is the fire. This shit's lit. They put it in your hand, and then you say, hey man, it's only a donation, $10. Like, you've got to have that tenacity if you're going to implement this strategy. Like, obviously I'm extreme, but it took me 5 years to get to this point. You know what I mean? You can do this. I was not able to do this in the beginning, you guys. I had a lot of issues with speaking my truth, a lot of trauma around speaking my voice from my childhood, a lot of deep-rooted healing that happened from speaking my truth and speaking my voice. This is real-time radical transformation and transmutation of stepping into your power, stepping into your voice. You feel me? This is Dharma work. Go door to door, go to shops and stores, post those flyers in their shops. Ask if they would let you. Invite them, invite those people, and sell the people who are working at the store. It's your chance to practice. Find community event boards, post them up there, post in the bathroom stalls, post them everywhere. Find groups associated, this is digital marketing. Find popular groups associated with the local area. Conscious community of Lake Atitlan, conscious community of right, like Bali, Costa Rica, like conscious community of groups. When people like your posts, when you post into a group, like other people's posts first, and it will trigger the algorithm so that when you post in there, they're going to see your event. They're going to see that notification. And then DM people on those pages who you think might be interested. DM random people. I will spend somewhere between, probably in total, promoting my events, maybe 10 hours in total. And then go live in those group pages, go live in those pages. So converting attendees. So usually it's about 10% of people purchase when they first hear about it. 30% of attendees purchase in the weeks or even the week leading up to the event. And then 50% of attendees purchase the week of the event or even the days leading up to the event. So there's like just the days before, it's like that's when people start purchasing tickets. And then there's the people who actually come directly to the event and just show up. Keep that in mind. There's kind of this like process where more people will come in the beginning. When you first start talking about it, people are gonna be like, they won't even hear about it. Like you're like thinking no one's gonna show up, and then all of a sudden you fill up the room. Or maybe it's a small and intimate gathering, who knows? You've got your different tiers, your super early bird to incentivize people to sign up early. You've got your VIP experience, which includes coaching and bundling your programs together. And you can start small and scale up. Start with a $20 event, then go up to a 50, then go to 100. You know, start small, get your bearings, and then scale up. And then coaching and consulting, what I found is that while I am promoting my event, I will start getting coaching clients 1 week before the event and a week after the event. People will start randomly reaching out to me. They say, hey, I can't come to the event, but I would love to, do some work with you. And so there's a standard bell curve of people that will reach out to you for coaching before and after your event because they're just seeing your awesome stuff that you're doing. And the more that you post about that, the more that people are going to hear about it and want to participate. Hosting your event, volunteers help curate the space, officiate the welcoming and the opening ceremony, provide lunch or have a potluck, have a solid sound system and AV, dance a lot, move, shake, groove, have a workbook that they can use, print that out locally, make sure that it's a comfortable space, have a video team that are capturing testimonials. And if you don't have a good videographer or someone that's in charge of that, then you have to do it yourself. I can't tell you how many times I've had to do my own video at my events. Capture the live event, get a camera, a tripod that you can use, and capture the whole experience. And then in
Jonathan,
production, yep.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
Can you recommend any cameras for someone who's wanting to do video content?
Let's talk about it for the Q&A, but I honestly just use my my phone, my iPhone or smartphone.
Okay.
They last a long time and they keep the data small. But if you have a budget for a nice camera, Sony A7 R3 or S3 with like a $3,000 lens, and you're ready to roll. And then you can turn that into evergreen content. So, you can turn that into a Kajabi course and package that program. And then you can, try different event concepts. So after your event and when you're traveling, you can interview thought leaders and people. I know I only have like another minute, so I'm going to try to cram this in here. Interview thought leaders. This guy in the upper left, I interviewed him. I went to him. I was traveling Europe. I heard about his work. I traveled to him. I interviewed him in person, and he ended up getting my book published at the University of Leiden Law School, and I got a $25,000 contract to publish my book, Hack Your Education in Holland. So interview thought leaders. You get to learn, you get to connect for interviews, and you get to exchange value with your community and stand out in your community. Identify 3 experts in your desired industry. Develop a list of questions for each person and connect with them and ask the question. But once you actually do your interview, write a blog about the experience and then post that blog. And it's another way to kind of brand yourself. Also encourage you to look for fellowships and scholarships. You can look for Google for fellowships in this industry, or Google fellowships in the job type, or fellowships in research type, or your race or your religion. This is me, Youth Time organization funded by the Russian Railways, funded me for 3 years to travel around the world, going to conferences and empowering the youth. Look for artist and residency programs. And basically you just do art or host workshops. And if they don't have an artist in residency program, create one for them. Play with that one. Ask me more later. Sponsorships. Do media sponsorships, co-create branded content with media, with venues. And then I have a whole list of digital nomad resources that I'm going to share with you guys. you reach out to me. And then I also have I want to quickly share that I have a free meditation. It's an energy center activation meditation on my website, jonathanberry.org. If you're interested in working with me, I have a program called Quantum Meditation Mastery. It's all about tuning your body as a quantum computer, tapping into the quantum field. The Mind Lab Institute is a process for achieving your goals and creating your future. It's all about the science of manifestation. I also have a program about how to find student interns to help you build your business and scale up your dreams so that you don't have to do it yourself. You can have a team of people around the world helping you do it. And I would love to give you guys that. And then also I do these sacred strategy, intuitive life path design sessions. I channel the quantum field. I channel the Akashic records. I am a futurist, and I help people create the future and get crystal clear on what it is that you're here to do in this life and create. I will help you experience a quantum shift. I've done this with over 500 individuals. It's mind-blowingly epic every time. Tears are often shed in the process. We work in Google Documents. We create timelines for the future. I'll provide you all the tools that you need. If you're interested in participating in any of my programs, I'm offering a special for this program, basically the Quantum Creator Program. We'll do 3 months together. I'm going to give you access to all my programs, and it's going to help keep you in alignment with getting in full flow state with this bigger vision of your dharma, your purpose work, and making tons of money. I also do a cheaper version of it too, where there's less one-on-one time, but you get access to all my programs. And I'm going to drop the mic on that one. Thank you guys so much for letting me share this experience with you.
Jonathan, what the heck? Wow! We're all over here like shocked of like 80 slides of content. That was amazing.
Less than a minute per slide.
You just gave us, I don't think I could process all of that. I tried to take as many notes as I could. That was amazing. Does anyone else want to share?
I am so grateful for you. Like, I have literally been like all these little like loop, 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 loop about what I'm supposed to do this year has been coming up. But like this like really was able to pack it and see like, because I want to travel. And like now I'm like, I'm an artist and I'm like seeing a whole thing. So thank you so much.
Yeah, that was, Michael here. I really enjoyed your presentation, the prep work that you went into the slides to communicate these concepts was world class. I was really, really appreciating the presentation. I was really, and like Chelsea and the rest of us saying, I was trying to take as many notes as I could, but it's like, I don't want to miss the next little nugget of the slide. So this is one I'm going to go back over and rewatch, I'm sure.
Okay.
Thanks.
Well, and I can't take full credit for the slideshow. I had 2 interns helping me last night put the whole thing together. So it was just like, it was great.
Practicing what we preach.
Yeah,
awesome.
exactly.
So amazing.
Absolutely incredible. I literally came up with like business plans for myself.
Yes.
This whole hour, I've come up with like 10 things I'm going to do this year. So just thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, I just want to say, like, as a facilitator myself, I've hosted events and the pandemic hit and it kind of like took.
Oh, we lost you. It's muted, Jen.
Oh, yeah. Everything stalled. And so I've been trying to, kind of believe in it again. And I still believe in it, but just listening to everything that you're saying and just like so motivating, so inspiring. Just thank you so much, because it makes me want to go back in there and really just do it with no excuses. So I appreciate it.
Yeah. Love you, Jen.
Wow.
Awesome.
So good. So amazing.
Yeah.
And we have tons of comments in the chat, Jonathan. I don't even know if you got to see all those, but you can go back through and read them. And Jonathan, I would love to have everyone connect with you on social media. I'm sure you're going to get flooded with messages. So if you want to put your Instagram in there or your Facebook, whichever you prefer, that way everybody can connect with you. Jennifer says this and Richard Rudd was your favorite event. Well, Jonathan,
Nice.
you are an ascended master, clearly, in the business world.
I'm a descended master.
I love it. I love it. So
I
beautiful.
shared my Facebook and my my Instagram. Please reach out. Would love to connect with you guys. Would love to share links to all the stuff. And I also have these documents of like insane resources for digital nomads. Like, I mean, like insane. Like you're gonna just be like have to spend a couple hours looking through these because it's like job postings. It's like all kinds of stuff. So yeah, love you guys so much.
So good. So everybody, let's go ahead, take yourselves off mute, rub your hands together, generate some energy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ashta hey.
Asha hey.